Welcome to episode 6 of Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I'm your host, and today, we're going to dive deep into the wonderful world of learning English. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll be both entertained and enlightened. Let's start with a little story. When I was a kid, learning English felt like climbing a mountain. I remember staring at my English textbook, feeling overwhelmed by all the new words and rules. But then, something changed. I found out that learning English could be like a fun game. How, you ask? Well, let's find out together. Imagine you're playing a new video game. At first, it's tough. You don't know the controls, you keep losing, and it feels frustrating. But the more you play, the better you get. You start to understand the controls, you figure out the tricks, and soon enough, you're winning. Learning English is just like that. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever played a game for the first time and felt frustrated? I bet you have. We all have. But do you remember how good it felt when you finally beat that difficult level? That's the same feeling you get when you understand a new English word or phrase. It's like a little victory each time. Speaking of games, do you enjoy jokes? I know I do. Here's a funny one for you. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Get it? The Scarecrow was outstanding in the field, and he was also very good at his job. It's a play on words, which is something you'll encounter a lot in English. Let's talk about something else that's really fun: traveling. Have you ever traveled to a new country? Traveling is a fantastic way to learn English. You get to meet new people, try new foods, and see amazing places. And when you travel, you have to use English to communicate. It's like a real-life game, where you have to use your English skills to navigate and make the most of your experience. One time, I traveled to England. It was my first time there, and I was so excited. I went to a small cafe and tried to order a cup of coffee. But guess what? I accidentally asked for a cup of coffee. The waiter looked at me strangely, and then we both started laughing. It was so funny. And I never made that mistake again. Mistakes are part of the learning process, and sometimes they make for the best stories. Do you like music? I love music. Listening to English songs is a great way to improve your language skills. You can sing along and learn new words. One of my favorite songs is Happy by Pharrell Williams. Do you know it? It goes like this: because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. It's such a cheerful song. Whenever I'm feeling down, I listen to it, and it makes me smile. Music can be a powerful tool in language learning. Have you ever noticed how you can remember the lyrics to a song even if you haven't heard it in years? That's because music helps your brain remember things more easily. So next time you listen to a song in English, pay attention to the lyrics. Try to sing along. It's a fun way to practice pronunciation and learn new vocabulary. Here's another tip for you: watch English movies and TV shows. Have you ever watched a movie in English? It can be challenging at first, but don't worry. Start with movies you've already seen in your own language. This way, you know the story, and it will be easier to follow along. One of my favorite movies is Finding Nemo. It's about a little fish who gets lost, and his dad goes on a big adventure to find him. It's a great movie with lots of funny and heartwarming moments. Another movie I recommend is The Lion King. It's a classic. The story, the music, the characters, everything is amazing. And the English used in the movie is clear and easy to understand. Plus, you can learn a lot of new words and phrases that you can use in everyday conversations. Speaking of conversations, do you ever practice speaking English with your friends? Speaking is one of the best ways to improve your language skills. It can be scary at first, but the more you do it, the more confident you'll become. Here's a little challenge for you. Next time you meet your friends, try to have a short conversation in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just give it a try. You'll be surprised at how much you can say. And don't forget about reading. Reading is another fantastic way to improve your English. You can start with simple books or articles. There are so many interesting stories out there just waiting to be discovered. For example, have you ever read Harry Potter? It's a wonderful series of books about a young wizard and his adventures. The language is rich, and the story is captivating. Plus, there are plenty of new words to learn. If Harry Potter feels too difficult, start with something simpler. There are many children's books that are great for English learners. One of my favorites is The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. It's a simple story with beautiful illustrations, and it's perfect for beginners. Now, let's talk about something important: practice. How do you practice English? Do you speak with friends, listen to music, or watch movies? All these activities are great, but the key is to practice regularly. Just like in a video game, the more you play, the better you get. So, try to practice English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Here's a fun activity you can try: write a diary in English. Every day, write a few sentences about what you did. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just write whatever comes to your mind. This will help you improve your writing skills and remember new words. Plus, it's a great way to reflect on your day and see your progress over time. Speaking of new words, let's learn a few together. Are you ready? Here we go. Adventure, an exciting experience. For example, going to a new country is always an adventure. Outstanding, very good. For example, the scarecrow was outstanding in his field. Cheerful, happy and positive. For example, the song Happy is very cheerful. Now, try to make your own sentences with these words. It's a great way to remember them. And don't be afraid to use new words in your conversations. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. Before we end this episode, I want to share one last story with you. It's about my friend Sarah. Sarah wanted to learn English, but she was very shy. She was afraid of making mistakes. One day, she decided to join an English club. At first, she was very nervous, but everyone was so friendly. They played games, sang songs, and told stories. Sarah started to feel more confident. Now, she speaks English fluently and has made many new friends. So, the moral of the story is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. Every mistake is a step towards success. Just keep practicing and have fun. Now, let's review what we've learned today. We talked about how learning English can be fun, like playing a game. We shared some funny jokes and stories. We learned about the importance of practice and some great ways to improve your English, like listening to music, watching movies, speaking with friends, and writing a diary. We also learned some new words and how to use them. Thank you for joining me today on Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I hope you had a great time. Remember, learning English can be fun and exciting. Keep practicing, and don't give up. See you in the next episode. And always remember, every word you learn is a step towards mastering English. Keep smiling, keep learning, and keep enjoying the journey. Goodbye for now.